Good morning, we're here at Claver Hill in January and there's quite a bit of snow on the ground as you can see around the site. My name's Anna and I'm part of a group that have been coppicing at Claver. So at Claver Hill we have a number of windbreaks that help to slow the wind when it comes through the site, and that just helps us to grow healthier vegetables and fruit and other things. And in our windbreak we have alder, which is this tree, and then we've got a row of willow behind it, so you can see some of the willow behind. And this is a great combination because the willow is really good on wet sites, which we have, and it grows really fast, and we can use the wood for weaving as well as for creating firewood. And the alder is a nitrogen fixer, and you can use the wood for construction and carving and all sorts of other things. And so each winter during the dormant season, so let's say between October and February, we do some work on the windbreak to keep it low enough so it's not preventing our vegetables from growing well, whilst also keeping it well spaced and with lots of air so that the wind can easily blow through it, but it's still slowed down. So when we say coppicing, what we're talking about is I guess we're taking advantage of some trees' ability to grow new shoots when you cut them down. And so trees that are really good for coppicing and pollarding include willow and alder. So during the dormant season we're cutting the alder and the willow in some cases right down, and I know it looks brutal and it feels quite brutal as well, but in the next growing season this will send out lots of new shoots, and I'll try and find an example here. So at the back here we have willow, and last year we had cut them low, and these are all the new shoots from the last growing season. And what we're aiming to do, I'm going to step back so you can see this, is we're kind of making like a jigsaw puzzle in our windbreak. So we want to have some tall alder trees so that they get big and they're really good for birds and they can do their own thing. And where we have a tall alder, we have low growing willow, which we coppice. And we're going to start a cycle where we coppice one every year. So we have like a cycle between the three coppice. And then where we have a tall willow, which we're pollarding, so we're cutting it at head level, we have coppiced alder. So we're creating this jigsaw puzzle along our windbreak to make sure that we're slowing down wind, but it's not too dense so that it won't cause other problems. So yeah, if you want to learn more you can look up about creating windbreaks. So Martin Crawford has a really good book that talks about how you design windbreaks in a way that ensures you're slowing down wind but not creating wind tunnels or turbulence and that sort of thing. So the reasons why you might want to coppice, there are various reasons, and it depends on where you're working. But for us, by keeping coppicing some of the trees, it keeps the light up, levels up for other plants around the site, and all the stuff that we take off we use. So some of it will be chipped to go on our paths between our beds so it breaks down and improves the soil. Other bits like this we'll put around the site for wildlife, so we'll make like heaps of it, and if you come here on a day like today when there's lots of snow you see lots of birds in the piles of these small cuttings. And then with the alder we have been making wooden spoons. We'll cut up and dry it for firewood, and we are going to use some of it for building materials. Also at Claver Hill we have a natural dyes project, and they're playing around with the alder cones, so apparently these can be used in dye.
Hello, I'm Claire, and I've started coppicing on Saturday mornings, and I'm really enjoying it. I use two different tools, a little saw, and some secateurs, and it's just nice trying to do it in a way that keeps the plants healthy, and I like it because it's outdoors and it's a big space. So it's lovely to be here. One of the reasons I like Claver Hill is for me it's a kind of non-digital space.
And I really love it because it's one of those jobs where you can see what you're doing, you can see the progress that you've made. And it's amazing that we chop stuff down like in the autumn and in the winter, and then by next spring, summer, it's all kind of come back up, the willow, and the older grows so fast. It's quite fun to see that happen. Yeah, and it's a really nice way to keep warm on a cold day too.
I'm helping coppicing because I love doing something outdoors in winter, and that's one of the things that you can do in winter. And it helps us to create a nice windbreak for the next year.